welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David and in this video I'm gonna explain to you how to play Runner Up. And this is an easy to learn, quick, fun game where it's not about becoming first but ending second. So please let me show you how to play Runner Up. Player count of this game is 2 to 6, although when playing with 2 you will add a third dummy player. I will explain that at the end of this video, but say we're playing with 4 players. All players will get a card in their color, and that will also be the marker they have for this game. All other cards and markers are discarded. All players will start on this track on the starting space, and this track has positive points going from 1 to 16 or negative points -1 to -12. Then the players will get 5 cards of this deck. The highest value is +5, the lowest value -4. There's no 0 in this deck, only numbers, so whenever a player gets a card he has to move his marker. Although maybe that player would get a -1 and a +1, then the marker of course would stay where it is. The deck gets shuffled and all players will get 5 cards each. Of course you can look at the cards yourself, don't show it to your other players. 5 cards, so we're gonna play 5 turns, then we get a scoring, then we'll reset the board and we'll play another round and we'll play 5 rounds total. At the end of each round, the player whose pawn or players whose pawn is at the second place, those get the points they are on at that moment. And then after 5th rounds we sum up all the scores and the player who has the second score is the winner. So this game is all about moving your pawns up and down the track and making sure at the end of the game your score will be the second best. How are we gonna do that? You pick a card, say I have a +3, and everybody picks a card. I'll just pick those randomly. When all players are ready, we do a little countdown, and then you're going to place this card somewhere at the player. It can be at yourself or at another player. So we count down 3, 2, 1, and then you place your card as quick as possible at some place. So this player will also put it here, this player will give it to me, and this player will give it here. Something like that. All cards are revealed. And now we're going to simply move all the markers. You don't have to look at the color of the cards you played, it's only for the number. The player where you play the card at will decide which pawn will move. So the red player has to move 2 spaces ahead. And then this card is discarded. The yellow player has to move 2 spaces backward. Wow, the black player has got +8 total, so he will move up the track 8 spaces. And the blue player didn't get any cards, so he will stay where he is. And then we're gonna do it all over again. So everybody picks a card, we count down, 3, 2, 1. I will play this one at myself. And this player will play one with me, this one will play a card here, and this player will play a card on itself. And again, we're gonna check. The red player has to move +4 total. 1, 2, 3, 4. The yellow player will move back 3 spaces. No cards played at the black player, and the blue player will step back 2 spaces. And so we continue until the next turn. Until a player only has 1 card left, that card has to be played at your own marker. So the last card is always your own card. So you might want to keep that in mind during the round, the card that you have left for yourself. I will move up 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow will move up 1 space, black will move up 2 spaces, and blue will move up 1 space. And now we will get a scoring, not the number or numbers one player will score, but the second occupied space will score. In this case, that's the blue player who is in the second place. Well, actually he's in 3rd place, but it's the second occupied scoring field from the start, based on where the first player is. So only this player will score, and blue will get -1 point. If we end it up like this, the black player is in 1st place, and the second occupied space is for the red player, so the red player would get 8 points. And if red and blue were together on the second occupied space, they both would get 8 points. Then after each round the board is reset, so all player markers will return to the starting space. The discard pile and the dry pile will be shuffled again. All players will get 5 cards. And we're gonna play a new round. We play 5 rounds, and like I said, at the end of the 5th and final round, we sum up all scores players have scored, and the player who has the second highest score is the winner of runner-up. This is the basic mode to play the game, but there's also a more tactical mode. In that case, you're gonna look at the little white numbers that are in the left bottom corner of the cards. All cards you play will be in front of yourself, and the player with the highest number goes first, but that player gets to choose which marker to move. So let's do an example. All players select a card, then reveal after everybody is ready. And then you go from highest number to lowest number. So this player has played a card that has number 31. So the yellow player can move a marker, and it doesn't have to be his own, 4 spaces. So maybe he wants to move the red player 4 spaces. Then this player has number 11, so he gets to move a pawn 1 space. Maybe the black one. And so play continues 5 turns and 5 rounds. But as you can see, this is more tactical, because when you're one of the last players to make a move, you can see what has happened during this turn, and so you have more influence on what happens on the track. Personally, I like this version better. Then there's also the 2-player mode. If we have the red player and the yellow player playing against each other, you will add a 3rd player as the dummy player. Then both players will get 5 cards. However, the dummy player will only get 4 cards. We play normal turns. So both the players pick a card at the same time. And they will play it at any player. They can play it at the dummy player or at another player or at themselves. The dummy player will always play a card on itself. So in this case, both the red player and the dummy player will move 3 spaces. +4, -1, and +3. And so the round continues. The last turn will be only a card that the players have to play in front of themselves, but because the dummy player only has 4 cards, he does not get to move in the final turn of the round. And then scoring goes as normal, so it's even possible that the dummy player would win this game. And that is how runner-up is played, a funny, fast game, where it's all about not ending on the first place, but becoming second. So sometimes you really try to avoid ending up at the second place because you don't want to get any points, while other players might try to get you into points. If you have any questions about runner-up, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. My name is David, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.